his grandson Trey develop his game. And one thing's for sure, high standards run in the Bradley family. Bob brings that same major league mindset to the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning. From residential and commercial repairs to installations, maintenance, and upgrades, they step up to the plate and get the job done right the first time. And while Bob waits for Trey's call to the majors, he's still delivering major league service every single day right here in South Florida. Call Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning today at 561-793-7497 or visit bradleyair.com.
Anna Joran Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. There's nothing better than sports on a Sunday.
The return to glory.
It's time to kick off.
20, he will score!
Tip off.
Way downtown, bang, bang!
Or tee off.
They're gonna go nuts when he hits this thing.
On Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
It is a Sunday. Is it the solstice today? Is it 21st, 22nd? Welcome on into summer and welcome on into Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, you got Damian Perez behind the glass today. Got you for the next 2 hours. Had a packed weekend here at ESPN West Palm, which includes our 7-on-7 tournament, so excuse my voice for that. But that was a full day at Kaiser University. That was 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We crowned a champion. Merritt Island, which was about 2 hours north of here. Not far.
Wow, so not a local.
Not a local team. Beat Jensen Beach in the championship. We have that. We also have a lot of World Cup stuff to get into. Should be a grand old time. We're presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go download the Hard Rock Bet app today, because if you're not even into the games today, if you don't have a dog in the fight of Spain, Saudi Arabia, and you still want to watch the game, get into it, well, bet it on the Hard Rock Bet app. Bet goal line, bet goal scores, shots on goal, parlay it all together. You can do it on the app today. Hard Rock Bet is the place to get in on the action. Go check out the Discover page. If it's a perfect place for both types of players. If you're a brand new player, it's catered to you. But also, if you're an experienced player, you get a lot out of your sports book. That's what Hard Rock Bet has to offer as well. Go get it today. It is offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida the wager. Terms and conditions do apply. If you're somebody who knows a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Good weekend for the United States men's national team. I think everything that they were looking for heading into the weekend worked out. Here's what I mean by that. Damian, Mike Rizzo, and myself got into a big argument about the ethicality of not playing Christian Pulisic, who's the best player on the United States men's national team, in the second game of the group stage. Going against Australia, Seattle, the game in a lot of ways decided the group. Why don't you? He has a calf injury, muscle injury. Nobody knows the severity. And they didn't play him. And Mike Rizzo is in the lot that he needs to play no matter what. Damian was definitely on the lot that if he's hurt, he's hurt. And now, in hindsight, talk about a validated opinion for Damian Perez, Mauricio Pochettino, and all the United States men's national team for making the decision not to play Pulisic. United States goes out. They have a great performance, especially in that first half against Australia. And what they needed to have happened. Paraguay, which in an incredible game against Turkey, weirdly enough, just in terms of style, was able to win 1-0 with 10 minutes on the field for over half the game. And beating Turkey, Turkey is now officially eliminated from World Cup contention, and the United States is officially in first place in their group. They're going to win their group in the World Cup as well. And they're not playing for seeding. They're already locked in. Everybody else plays for a chance at the United States, not the other way around. So the United States have kind of a throwaway game of friendly, if you will, against Turkey on Thursday night. But now you don't need to play Pulisic. You don't need to play anybody who has a yellow card. You don't need to do any of that against Turkey on Thursday. And you can sort of treat it as a 2-week bye week. Damian Perez, what you thought and how good this would look post a win, winning without Pulisic, completely validated now that we see what we see.
Yeah, they absolutely nailed it. I mean, shout-outs to Pochettino. That was a great call. I'm wondering if Pulisic was ever going to play in that game, but obviously he didn't play. He obviously wasn't 100%, and that's huge for the United States. They went out there, did what they had to do against Australia, didn't really skip a beat. They kept that momentum flowing. They got a big win, qualified in first place. Doesn't matter what happens in the next game because they own the tiebreaker against any team in their group. And then, Pulisic got another week or so of rest. So he's probably going to be in this knockout stage 100%. We don't have to worry about him being 85, not even 95%. He will be 100% for this knockout stage, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, he got hurt towards the end of the first half in that first group stage game against Paraguay. And they talked to him post-match, and they asked him, like, you going to play? And he's going, I'm going to do whatever I can to play. I can do whatever I can to play. In hindsight, I do wonder if there is an internalized notion amongst the team that he was not going to play, but for scouting purposes, he's going to tell everybody that he's going to try his hardest to play.
Hard to game plan when you don't know.
That's it. And you can make the argument that Australia didn't really know what type of U.S. team was going to go at them because they didn't know about Pulisic until, an hour and a half before the match. So Damien's right. It's completely validated. Now we're playing the game on who's going to play the United States. It looks like it's going to be one of Bosnia or one of Qatar, which is an okay first match. And it sounds like that second is likely going to be Czechia. It might be a little too early to tell, but that's the most likely in the round of 16 if it gets to it. But now the United States this way. Now, how will they handle that third group stage game in terms of playing people?
It's a great question.
How many guys will they sit? Do they want to keep guys warm in a weird way?
And you want to keep this momentum going.
Right.
I mean, this is also a throwaway for Turkey. It's worth mentioning. Doesn't matter what result they get because they lost to Australia. And
probably
they lost
looking
to
for
Paraguay.
a win to maybe validate their
just to
experience.
leave with some good sensation. They're a young team, so they're going to go out there and play. They're going to give it their all. They're going to try to leave this World Cup with a win. But from the United States perspective, I mean, that's a great question. What do you do if you're Pochettino? Do you keep this momentum going? Do you save your starters? Do you rotate? Maybe you get a look at some guys you're on the fence with.
That's probably what I think they do.
So, nonetheless, I think this is a great position for the U.S. men's national team. They're probably one of the hottest teams in the tournament, and looking forward to it. Now, I will say they haven't really been tested. You did play Australia, you did play Paraguay. Those aren't two teams that coming in, people were saying were a large test, and it doesn't look like they're going to get a large test in the round of 32. So we're probably looking till the round of 16 till they get a real opponent, let's say, and a real big test for the U.S. men's national team.
I mean, yeah, in terms of a round of 32 matchup, it sounds like they're going to have a really nice opening game.
Not to take anything away from them, though, because I think they still look absolutely fantastic.
Germany was challenged yesterday against Ivory Coast, right? Like Spain was challenged against Cape Verde.
They shouldn't have been, though.
Right. So for I would say, inexperienced bunch, once you get into the knockout stage, playing your first tough opponent, round of 16, maybe even round of 8, would be kind of unprecedented. But whatever it means for your United States run, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. If they have to play their first tough game in the quarterfinal, for all I care, fine. But one thing I would say, you mentioned it, one of the hottest teams in the tournament. How many teams would be unhappy to play the United States right now? I'll phrase it like this. Of everybody in the field, how many teams can take the field against the United States right now and then not consider them a threat or a problem?
I don't think there's a team in the tournament. I mean, at the end of the day, the USA's playing at home, and they got the crowd behind them. They have that aspect of the momentum. They have the excitement. So I don't think there's a team that's looking at the USA and thinking this is an easy team. This is a team we want. This is probably a team everybody wants to stay away from. And from the U.S. perspective, I mean, the expectation was to win your group, get to the knockout stage. Once they do that, in a sense, they're playing with house money. Not saying they're satisfied, but you kind of get that pressure off you. So at that point, I mean, you're kind of in a flow state, which I think USA's already at. I don't think any team in this tournament wants to play USA at the moment.
Yeah, and I would agree with you just off the course of home field, just a little bit of juice. But from what I would say, there's probably, 5 or 6 teams that probably thoroughly...
Maybe like France, France, Spain.
I would say France against everybody.
Yeah.
It's like they're a notable favorite. Spain would be a notable favorite. Would Brazil be a notable favorite?
I would try to stay away from Brazil. They're one of those teams that they're like a sleeping giant. They might get off to a bad start, but at the end of the day, it's Brazil. They can get it going at any point in this tournament.
Argentina, obviously, stay far away. Yeah. You want nothing to do with them. England, you want nothing to do with them. Colombia and Portugal.
Colombia is interesting because Colombia can match that home field advantage. I mean, anywhere Colombia plays in the world, they have that advantage. You know, their fans travel. There's a lot of Colombians everywhere, especially here in the United States. So
now it'll be a West Coast game. It'll be a Northwest game most likely.
Yeah.
If they would ever play them, because the United States basically predominantly is on that West Coast until you get to that quarterfinal, which is in Arlington, Texas, or something.
And they're very similar. They're both very direct. You know, they like to attack. They like to play offensive. Colombia's like that, and so is USA. So that would be a fun game for the neutral. But I don't know if either team wants to see each other.
Right. United States, they play a third-place team, likely in Group B if it comes to it. So we're looking at Bosnia. We're looking at Qatar. And the other one, so how it works, if you win your group, you're matched up with either a 3 or 2 or a runner-up. And only 4 teams are matched up with runner-ups. And the one group winner, I should say, that is matched up next to the United States is 1G. So that is obviously New Zealand. That if it gets to that is Belgium. If it gets to that, Iran and Egypt. So all those teams obviously play today. So you keep an eye out on what that round of 16 will look like. But I think for the United States, they're in a position here where those first 2 games, for what it's worth, could be so much better than a lot of their counterparts around the World Cup. Think about it. If you are a second-place team in Morocco's group, first of all, you had to deal with Brazil.
Could be Brazil.
Yeah, you had to deal with Brazil. And on top of that, you have a tough group matchup because if you're a second place in Brazil's group, you play the winner of the Dutch group. We saw how well the Dutch played yesterday. So imagine that
Japan
start. Imagine playing the Dutch to open things up.
Yeah.
And then and whoever you'd have to play after the fact. Whereas the United States, Bosnia, or whoever it might be, who stunk against Switzerland, and then playing the winner of the New Zealand group. I mean, maybe Belgium, which is a tough matchup. But again, comparatively, you're not.
Could be worse.
Would the United States be favored against Belgium?
That'd be close. I think they would be because of the home field advantage.
I agree.
But it would be close. I think the lines would probably be close to a pick 'em if we were talking about it from a gambling perspective.
Right. And in a weird way, that favors the United States.
Yep.
If they're not going in as a true underdog against a lot of these teams who are better than them.
Which they probably would have been at the start of the tournament.
Well, they probably would have been.
If we talk about Belgium versus USA before their first 2 games, I promise you a lot of people would say Belgium would be the overwhelming favorite.
And that game's in Seattle, too. Belgium fans going all the way to Seattle.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's difficult, right?
So that's the best home field advantage.
That's a good locationally. It's a good game. It's a good place to have a game because the United States is going to be at Levi's Stadium, so they're going to be on the West Coast, staying throughout the early part of this World Cup, and then if they ever make it to the final 8, it would be in SoFi in Los Angeles.
So they're comfortable in the West Coast.
Comfortable in the West Coast. They're not going to have to move all that much. They're flying an hour or 2 tops.
Weather's great, too.
Weather's great. They got a couple dome stadiums. They got Lumen Field's an excellent stadium. This is working out for the United States. This is working out as good as it gets. And, like you said, chances are if Pulisic maybe he wasn't going to play from the beginning, but if this was a 2-week injury and we see him maybe take the field practicing next week, we'll feel great about seeing him in the knockout stage 100%.
Yeah, and I think we should feel great now. I mean,
honestly, though, could we? Because he did gym work apparently all week and didn't practice with the team.
And I'm not saying Pulisic is, USA is better with Pulisic on the field, but if USA showed something against Australia, it's that they're not one-dimensional. They're well-coached.
Yep.
And they can adjust. They can adjust to whatever game plan the other team is showing and to whatever player is on that field. So while we want Pulisic to be on the field, in the case that he's not, which I don't think he will be, I think he'll be 100%. For the next game, as a matter of fact. But if he's not on the field, USA has shown that they could still, play at a high level.
There is a confidence booster that Australia game proved, that you're not necessarily, the sum of what Christian Pulisic brings to the table. And that's a good thing. So the fact that they were able to be a little bit more well-rounded and were able to kind of replace his production. And against an Australian team, I mean, they had an own goal as the first goal of the game, which was quietly.
It was due to the pressure, though.
Due to the pressure, and then after that they closed it out in the first half, essentially. And then it was a snoozer in the second half.
Kept a clean sheet though. That's been rare for USA.
Right, and but it was a snoozer in the second half. But they got out of the game exactly what they were. They finished the game early. That was part of the game plan. Starting Pepe as a second striker almost alongside Flo. Like, they were trying to be offensive. They were trying to score early. That was apparent. And they were able to do that. So the United States didn't want to get into a dogfight. They didn't want to get into a grit and grind match, a cagey match, as they say.
That's what Australia wanted.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted. So now the United States in a great position here. They will play that knockout stage game July 1st. That's 2 weeks from Wednesday. Oh, no, excuse me. 1 week from Wednesday. They will play that knockout stage. So, wow, how about that? Until another consequential game, you got about 10, 12 days in between. And you sign up for that any day of the week in terms of rest, but also in terms of preparation. That third team is going to have a lot of difficulty hanging around the United States, bursting at the seams to get back onto the field at full strength.
And that third team is probably fighting for their life to get to that third place,
It would almost feel validating for whatever third place team it is just to even get there.
Right.
They're not necessarily looking to go. If Bosnia gets in, you're thinking, how the heck is Bosnia here?
And that third game in the group stage for them was do or die.
Do or die.
A lot different from USA, who's comfortable.
A little bit of emotional hangover.
Right. They're sitting at home. They're getting healthy. They're getting rested. So different dynamics for both teams.
We'll get into some other games that we saw over the weekend, including that Paraguay-Turkey game. There was a red card for a player on Paraguay towards the end of the first half who covered his mouth to say something in reference to another player. And it's a new rule with the FIFA. You didn't know if they were ever going to enforce it. Complete red card, didn't even consider it. Out, forget it. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what we saw in the Germany-Ivory Coast game, which to me was one of the games of the tournament.
Yeah.
And Ivory Coast really, in a lot of ways, squandered opportunity after opportunity to put Germany away. We'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about Damian's Uruguay team, who needs to come out and get some real points on the board today. Need to put some points on the board today. A 1 doesn't do anybody any good. Need 3. And that includes also Spain, who has Saudi Arabia today at 12. And they also need 3 points. So you're looking at those two teams. What are they going to do there? We'll continue the conversation. 888-760-3776. Number to get into the program. That's 888-760-3776. Colin Russo, Damian Perez, Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet and ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Since 2006, EDS Air Conditioning has kept Palm Beach County comfortable through every summer, every storm, and every season in between. EDS Air Conditioning is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. From dial thermostats to today's smart home systems, EDS delivers reliable comfort you can count on. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, they've earned your trust. 20 years of keeping Palm Beach cool. Visit EDSisyes.com today.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and it's time to play ball on ESPN 106.3. Tonight, the Mets and Phillies close out the night with a division matchup built for radio. Sunday Night Baseball starts at 6:30 right here on ESPN 106.3.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
This soccer season, bring home a win that lasts beyond the final whistle. If hard water is spotting dishes, dulling laundry, and drying out your skin, that's a foul. Culligan has helped families since 1936 with free water testing and reverse osmosis systems that filter contaminants at the source. While the tournament ends soon, Culligan keeps savings going. Enjoy 12 months with no payments and no interest. Schedule your free water test today at Culligan.com. Serving South Florida, Vero Beach to Miami Beach.
Hey, Culligan man! Whether you need batteries, tires, or services, we know you depend on your vehicle. You can depend on St. Lucie Battery and Tire with the largest inventories, expert technicians, and a best price out the door every day guaranteed. You'll drive away with confidence. Life doesn't stop, and neither should your car. St. Lucie Battery and Tire is here for you. Our experts keep your vehicle ready with batteries, tires, and service you can trust. Fast, friendly, and always reliable.
Need an extra boost? With Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union, you can earn up to $700 each year with a 7.0% annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's real money for real moments, like a family getaway or treating yourself to something special. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Mega Bash at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium is the biggest 4th of July party in Jupiter. There's no better way to celebrate America's 250th birthday than enjoying 2 special baseball games on July 3rd and July 4th. Both games begin at 6 p.m., featuring the Mega Kids Inflatable Area and the biggest fireworks show of the season. Tickets start at just $8. Stop by the ticket office or visit RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com to purchase your Mega Bash tickets today.
Daisy right, soy, blitz right, Travolta right, pumpkin left, alert Charlotte left. On one.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are your option here in South Florida. That's car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall. Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine will fight for you. They don't even get paid unless you do. They are the type to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. You need somebody in your corner. You need somebody getting your back. That is what they can do. You get into a fender bender. You get into a little bit of a tune-up on the car on the freeway. You know, oh my gosh, who's gonna defend me? Who's gonna get my back? Anajar and Levine is your best option if you're looking for an accident attorney. You drive down 95. You look at all the billboards. There's 5,000 accident attorneys, but there's really only one best, and that is Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine. Go make a real difference in your life today and take that phone call and take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Damien, let's talk about this specific group for a second because we saw it yesterday. Germany and Ivory Coast, Ecuador and Curacao. Curacao validated their whole run just by getting an equalizer against Germany in their first group stage game to tie it up at 1. They ended up losing 7-1. Fine. That is a country that has 150,000 residents. Curacao matches that performance with a full-time draw, 0-0 against Ecuador last night, which for Curacao standards, light the parade, get points.
Keeps them alive, too.
Keeps you alive. If you're Ecuador, that's one of the worst results that I could think of in that entire group stage to this point. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Now, Ecuador from here on out, now we're talking about this is a team that has 1 loss, 1 draw, and their last game is against Germany, who, by the way, I think will need the game. Because Germany, remember, Ivory Coast is 1-1. Germany is 2-0.
Now, I will say Germany has a +7 goal differential, which is
and
virtually impossible. Unless Ivory Coast scores about 8 goals.
Yeah.
And Ecuador scores a couple against Germany.
You know what hurt them? If Ivory Coast were to draw, then Germany would need the game. Germany actually doesn't need the game. They might clinch here because, like you said, they do have goal differential. But a 2-1 Germany against a 2-1 Ivory Coast favor Germany due to head-to-head.
Correct.
So Germany actually doesn't need the game. Ecuador might get a lifeline there. And if Ecuador is able to win that game, then they'll probably sneak into the knockout stage for a team that does not deserve it.
At all. And coming into the World Cup, they were one of the hotter teams.
So why are they playing like this?
It's been a mixture of, I guess, bad luck. Because if you watch the game against Curacao last night, I mean, they were attacking the entire game. They just couldn't get a goal. I think Loom, Curaçao's goalkeeper, broke a record for most saves in the World Cup with 15. A player that plays down here in Miami FC. So it was, I mean, Ecuador was looking for it. This is not saying that they deserved a goal, but sometimes it's similar to Turkey. I mean, Turkey had over 60 shots in 2
just
games.
not your
0
game.
goals. So a lot of that is, I don't want to say bad luck, but just things not going your way, I guess.
Yeah, and who would have thought that Ivory Coast is as formidable as they have shown to this point? Let's talk about that game really quick. Germany-Ivory Coast, which is the 4 o'clock game yesterday. First of all, in my opinion, one of the best games of the tournament to this point. And number 2, Ivory Coast had them. They had them. It was a 2-1 win for Germany, and they scored in the 94th minute. And Ivory Coast not only had a number of different opportunities throughout the game, Ivory Coast was not afraid of Germany. They scored in the first half. They were able to keep them at bay. Now, Germany had 2 goals called back in the first half, one of which was, I don't know how they phrased it, goalie interference. I guess the goalie, as they said in the broadcast,
if the goalie has the ball in their hands,
in the air too,
you can't touch him.
Right, and he's like entitled to the ground beneath him, everything like that.
It's almost like in the NBA when you shoot, you need your landing space. It's similar to that,
which is weird. And they called back a goal because of that.
Yeah.
And they had another goal, which was a foul on the field, which was a good call. So that's enough to say that Germany wasn't necessarily lucky in that game, but Ivory Coast 1-1 88th minute. Did you see the play of the kid who had probably the best look
they
at
could
the
have
goal?
gone up 2-1, yeah.
The best look at a goal opportunity that I've ever seen in the 88th minute, tied at 1 apiece. And nobody in front of him absolutely would have canned it. Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
That was the embodiment of pressure right there. Overthought it. And it should have been a first touch, fire it in.
Right.
And he did not do that. And you miss an opportunity like that. That's momentum. Germany turns around, they score 3 minutes later. Excellent game, Damian. Yeah. Excellent game. And I give Germany,
the minute that game started,
I give Germany credit because in a lot of ways, Ivory Coast, it's weird. Physical bunch. They're fast. They're unafraid. They were punking Germany. They were punking them. Physicality-wise.
Yeah.
They were going right after them.
And Germans are usually known for being physical.
Right. So you're almost like bullying the bully. And all of a sudden, going up 1-0, tensions are a little tight. Germany's able to win like that. Ooh, that was as decisive, and it wins them the group. Germany's a tough out, but so is Ivory Coast. That is not a team, and they're going to finish likely because they do have Curacao in that last game. They're not necessarily worried. I shouldn't say. I should say it this way. They'll be a runner-up. They shouldn't be worried about their standing, but whatever team gets them,
right?
As that, let's check that Group E.
Whoever wins their group and has to play against Ivory Coast, I'm sure they're not too excited about that.
Not too excited about that. Group 8, runner-up. Let's figure out where they'd actually play here. Because I'm looking at the bracket right here. And Ivory Coast, they're locked in, most likely. So that's going to be 2E. 2E is going to be 2E versus 2I. And 2I is Norway's group.
Wow.
So that would be Norway, France.
The winner of that group.
Most likely, let's shoot it out there. Norway, France, I believe is next Friday night.
Yeah. That'll decide that group.
That will decide that group. Let's play it out there that the Norway finishes second. You're talking about Ivory Coast and Norway.
Now, if you're Norway and France, are you almost no, because the runner-up of that group would play Germany, correct?
The runner-up of Norway's group?
Yes.
The runner-up of Norway's group plays the runner-up of Germany's group. So that's going to be Ivory Coast.
Runner-up versus runner-up.
Correct.
Okay.
The first
place plays a third place.
I'll figure out Group I. 1I, I should say.
They'll play a third place team.
Yeah, they'll play third of C, D, F,
Which,
G, or H.
The third place teams is very hard to see who's going to land there.
Yeah, because they got a weird system.
Yeah, a lot of things could happen there. A lot of results can alter things. So it's tough to predict the third place. But, I mean, that runner-up versus runner-up is going to be – it's probably going to be a Norway versus Ivory Coast match.
Let me play this out, too. Germany, who's already locked into their spot, it plays a third place team of A, B, C, D, or F. They're adjacent game, so who they would play in the 16 is the winner of 1I. So you could have France-Germany round of 16, and that would be July 4th at 5 p.m.
That's when the tournament gets unbelievable.
July 4th, 5 p.m., Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial.
Look at that.
France versus Germany or something like that.
That would be one of the best games of the tournament.
That would be one of the biggest games of the entire tournament. So just looking ahead. See, the fact that we could actually play this out is now it's getting fun because you're seeing where teams are going to finish.
Right, as the results come in.
But, yeah, so it looks like Ivory Coast is going to take, that's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
If I'm Norway, I don't want to deal with that.
But on the other side as well, if you're Ivory Coast, I don't think you want to play Norway either.
No, you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to deal with Erling Haaland chasing down the poor Iraqi defenders.
Especially when one of your best attributes as a team is the physicality you show, and Norway can match up with that with Haaland.
Yeah,
who's a 6'5".
He's an apex predator.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He is an apex. He's a Serbian tiger.
So that would be a very interesting matchup for sure.
Wow. All right. So in terms of a little bit of matchup action there in the World Cup, you're looking at Germany potentially going against France in that second round. That would be on July 4th. Actually, weirdly enough, circling back to the United States really quickly, I actually like how the United States would not play that round of 16 on July 4th. I know it would be kind of patriotic, but selfishly, I want to make sure it's when I could sit down, I can pay attention, I can make sure I watch it, and it'll be on Monday, July 6th, 8 p.m. Let's
not pile up the celebration.
I'd rather that, with all due respect. And that's just me because I like to separate my holiday from my sport.
And in a way, that could also serve as a distraction. You know,
absolutely.
If you're the United States playing on July 2nd as opposed to
on the
July 4th.
250th anniversary of the United States.
Talk about pressure.
We don't need this. We're good. We don't need this at all. But all right, so we'll play out some more scenarios here further. But Germany, Ivory Coast, an excellent game yesterday. And Germany, even though with old man Neuer back there in goal, definitely looks like a top 3 team in this tournament in the early part.
Yeah, and they're a team that, I mean, they're deep. The player that scored both goals came off the bench yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's a team that can make adjustments at halftime and change the game, completely flip it on its head. And those teams are very dangerous. It's hard to game plan against them.
Experienced. They've been there before. Good international team historically. They got something to prove. Fans are going to travel well. Germans all over the United States. That's going to be I would say the top 3 teams so far. What has it been? France, England, Germany.
Yeah, honestly, and Germany they're coming off a 7-1 win and a big win against Ivory Coast.
Yeah, they won tough and they won easy.
Yeah,
and that's almost what you're looking for in a situation like that. And in terms of just developing a little bit of experience.
How about Sweden?
Mojo. Oh my gosh.
Talk about a team that fell apart.
There's a team that scored 5 goals in their first group stage game, and it wasn't even a game, Damien.
No.
The Dutch, first game yesterday, they toyed with them. They dominated them.
The Dutch did to them what they did to Tunisia. Literally.
Sweden got a Tunisian coach fired.
Yeah.
And then the Dutch turn around, who, by the way, coming off of a uncharacteristic tie, probably a tie they shouldn't have had against Japan, and all of a sudden they turn around and you're thinking, oh, Sweden, could they threaten that second place spot? Did they do this, that? I know that that game between Sweden and Japan will decide it. Maybe that game didn't really mean much to Sweden, but it's about how you lose. I mean, it was over. In the 33rd minute, they had 2 goals.
No, and it definitely meant something for Sweden. This was Sweden's opportunity to virtually win the group. I mean, you beat Netherlands, whether it's 1-0, you're looking at 6-goal differential, you know? So it's going to be very tough to catch you if you did win that game.
Yeah, and now they're going to have a tough one against Japan, which will decide the second place.
That is a very, very tough game.
Yeah, that will decide that second place.
Japan is flying.
Yeah, Japan is flying. They played great yesterday. They finally got a win. They get good goal differential from it. Tunisia is a joke of a team. And then
they were the charity.
They were. That was free points. Sort of like what Haiti was for Brazil. Like that's what it's.
But at least Haiti didn't give up as many goals as Tunisia. I mean, 2 games, 9 goals against.
Right.
I mean, that's horrible.
And this Thursday is going to be the Japan-Sweden game. That'll be a 7 p.m. In Arlington, AT&T. This is now it's going to get into a point because you got to finish up these group stage games. I didn't realize this. Monday, Tuesday through the first stage of it are just 1 game per time slot. 4 games per day, right? 1, 4, 7, and 10. Then it gets into 6 games per day, and you get 2 games going on at once.
Wow.
So you get 2 at 3.
Is that for the knockout stage?
No, this is just for the end of the group stage. I think it's because they're trying to get through it through the weekend.
Well, no, what they're also trying to do is they want teams playing at the same time. So
who interact with each other.
Right,
yes.
So you can't kind of manage your games, get a tie here, get a win there. They want them playing at the same time, so their result won't dictate the other team's
right.
games.
That's 100% it.
Yeah, they do that a lot in soccer.
Yeah, so all of a sudden the entire United States group is going to play at 10 o'clock on Thursday. The entire Japan-Netherlands group is going to play at 7 o'clock. And the one I'm curious about, 4 o'clock on Thursday, it's going to be Ivory Coast, Curacao, and Ecuador, Germany at the same time. So Germany won't need the game.
If
but
you're Ivory Coast,
yeah,
you're in a really good spot.
You need to win that big.
You're in a good spot here.
You win that big, you're in a good spot. No
The
problem.
only thing I will say is Curaçao's got some life to them. If they were going into that game eliminated, maybe it would be a bit different. But Curaçao, I mean, if they win, there's a world where they can qualify as the best third-place team.
One thing I love about this year's iteration of the World Cup, and everybody talks about the expanded nature. It's too easy to get in. You put in all these terrible teams. Curaçao is embodying that.
Right.
Curaçao is validating the expanded nature of the FIFA World Cup, and I'd bet you that they're going to continue.
And Cape Verde too.
I'd bet you they continue to expand it. I'd bet you this will get to 64, and I would bet that teams like Curaçao, teams like Cape Verde, teams like Congo, Ghana,
and Bosnia. Bosnia is a team that directly benefited from that. They wouldn't be in the tournament if this wasn't expanded, and they're looking to qualify to the next round.
Every time they win, it further validates the idea of expanding it. It's free money. You get more countries involved. I'll tell you this, too. If you are going to expand to 64, this World Cup is going to be in the United States every 12 years, without a doubt. Every 8 to 12 years, it will be back here in the United States just because of the infrastructure, the amount of money FIFA's making. It's just, it's impossible to host a 64-team tournament in one country.
Did you see the budget that FIFA had coming into the tournament?
What was it?
It was for other tournaments, for example, for Qatar, it was like $200 million.
Oh.
For Brazil, it was like $40 million. For the U.S. tournament, it was only $8 million.
Wow, how about that?
That's huge if you're FIFA.
Wow, how about that?
Because the infrastructure is already there. You have the state-of-the-art stadiums. You have the state-of-the-art hotels.
They had to build everything from scratch.
They had to build everything.
Out of sheet metal. So it's a situation where, and it stinks because not to look too far ahead, the World Cup is going to be in a mixture of Africa, South America, and Europe. And the FIFA's just doing that so they could check those off the list. They have to nail every continent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of cheap how they're using the South American checkbox for like 3 games in the group stage. And next
Tell me
World
about
Cup.
it.
Oh, that's annoying, man. It's like 1 game in Argentina. Like
just to deliver.
Just to
say they did it.
1 game, I think, is in Colombia.
It's a game in Argentina, 1 game in Paraguay, and 1 game in Uruguay, which they're doing that because the first World Cup ever was in 1930, and it was hosted in Uruguay. So this is the century.
So they give them 1 game?
Yes, they'll give them 1 game. Uruguay and South America has been asking for the 2030 World Cup to be in South America, and it's hard to do it in Uruguay. It's a very small country.
No, you need to do all South America.
Right, so it would be all South America, but they've been asking for that, and FIFA said, we'll give you 3 games, and then we're taking it to Europe.
So it's 3 games. They get 3 games.
Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay.
Oh,
1
3 games in
each.
South America, but Uruguay just gets 1.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing that. Then they play like 1 or 2 games in Morocco to satisfy the African nature.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they're playing the rest of it in like Spain and Portugal.
But from a business perspective, I mean, it makes sense. If they were doing the tournament in South America, they would have to build hotels, redo some of the bigger stadiums.
They did it with Rio, yeah.
So, from a business perspective, it makes sense. But I don't know, FIFA. You make so much money, you could figure it out.
I totally agree. And but it is funny because the reason they satisfied 3 continents. Saudi Arabia technically satisfies the Asia qualification.
Right.
And I know it depends on what you look at, but the FIFA qualifies Saudi Arabia in 2034, which is going to be a godforsaken World Cup. And they count that as Asia. And then 2038, they're looking for a host right now, and it's between Australia, New Zealand, or the United States again.
Yeah.
They are not giving that to Australia.
And I bet this tournament is going to have a lot of implications for
They
that
are
one.
not giving that to Australia. Think about TV. It's the hardest place in the
Scheduling.
world to schedule.
We'll be watching games at 3 in the morning.
So you can maximize the rating. It's good in the United States for what it's worth. Because the United States not only has 500 million people, but Europe is 6 hours ahead. They're close. They don't care about Australia eyes. They care about Europe and the United States.
So when a game kicks off at 3 p.m. Eastern time here, that means it's 9
p.m. It's 6 hours ahead. 5 hours ahead if you're in England.
You can manage that.
5 hours ahead if you're in England.
You can manage that.
Totally. So if that's what they're trying to maximize, ratings, it's going to be back here in the United States. It will be back here in the United States. And I'd make an argument they'll do it every 12 years.
And also traveling. I mean, it's probably easier to get here than it is to get to Australia.
The amount of money FIFA is getting from hosting it here, you're talking about entire populations occupying cities. Scotland in Boston, Japan in Texas.
And to add to that, the amount of money that teams are making, because it's already the most lucrative tournament in history as far as reward money. So I'm sure teams will be on board if that means they'll get paid out more.
And you can make an argument that the last sort of unconquered land for world football and especially FIFA has been the United States.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this tournament should do it, but this tournament's going to help. And they realize that.
Yeah, you see a boom every time. The last World Cup here was 94.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't even born then, but apparently, there was a boom after that. So hopefully that's the result of this one as well.
We'll continue talking World Cup throughout the show today. We'll blitz the book, make a couple picks against the goal spread with 4 games on deck today, including Spain. Who's going to open things up at noon. That's Damian Perez, Colin Russo taking time out here at Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet and ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Steph Prince here, and in South Florida, you need an AC team that can deliver in the clutch. That's why my family trusts Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning. As a mom of 3, trust me, when your AC goes down, you don't want to strike out with the wrong company. You want a team that keeps the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps the family cool. And Bob Bradley knows a thing or two about coaching a winning team. He coached his son Bobby all the way to becoming a first-round draft pick, and now he's helping his grandson Trey develop his game. And one thing's for sure, high standards run in the Bradley family. Bob brings that same major league mindset to the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning. From residential and commercial repairs to installations, maintenance, and upgrades, they step up to the plate and get the job done right the first time. And while Bob waits for Trey's call to the majors, he's still delivering major league service every single day right here in South Florida. Call Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning today at 561-793-7497 or visit bradleyair.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia. Have you ever wished buying a car could actually feel easy? At Greenway Kia West Palm Beach, it does, especially during the summer sticker sales event. Just call Lonnie Mister, tell him what you're looking for, and before you arrive, he'll have a vehicle ready out front, washed, gassed up, and waiting for you. He'll even text you photos so you know exactly what to expect. No games, no pressure, no hidden fees. Just real people helping real people. With hundreds of new Kias arriving, including the Telluride, K4, K5, Sportage, and all-electric EV9, there's never been a better time to find the perfect ride. Not sure which Kia is right for you? Take advantage of Greenway Kia's exclusive 24-hour test drive. Take it home, drive it, and make sure it's the one. Plus, this week only, the Greenway Kia Credit Clinic is back. Let their team work hard to help get you approved. Call 561-433-1511 and ask for Lonnie Mister. Greenway Kia West Palm Beach, where buying a car feels personal.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Summer is officially here. The sun's out, the grill's going, the weekends feel a little longer. And with Gießen 0%, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of premium wine without the alcohol. Bright citrus, tropical notes, clean, refreshing flavor made for warm nights and good company. From poolside afternoons to sunset dinners, Gießen fits the pace of your summer, keeping you sharp, social, and fully in the moment. Gießen 0%, real wine for real life. The moment is now.
What's up, Miami? The FIFA Fan Festival is more than football. From June 13th to July 5th, Bayfront Park comes alive with live music, cultural experiences, and entertainment throughout the tournament. Catch performances from artists like Mario Bautista, Bry Thiago, and Juan Duque. Plus, a special 4th of July celebration with live performances, Ja Rule, Ashanti, The Fray, Shaggy, and more. It's free, it's unforgettable, and it's happening all summer long. See you there.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with George Teixeira, partner and practice leader of Anshin's Financial Services Group.
When launching a private investment fund, proper structuring could mean the difference between high tax bills and smart tax savings. The new One Big Beautiful Bill Act permanently extends the 20% deduction on qualified business income, makes favorable changes to exclusions of gains of qualified small business stock, and brings back full expensing on capital investments. For fund managers, this means new opportunities to reduce taxable income and improve cash flow. At Anshin, we specialize in building tax-efficient structures that help funds and their investors make the right decisions today for greater success tomorrow. If you are launching a fund in this new environment, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
Roadrunner, Roadrunner, Roadrunner.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
You're driving down 95, you get into a little bit of a fender bender. Anajar and Levine will get your back. You give them a call today, even if you get into a little bit, somebody runs you off the road, you get rear-ended on the highway. Oh my gosh, who's going to get my back here? Who's going to help me get this compensation? Anajar and Levine are the best options right here in South Florida. They cover car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, fall down the stairs. Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine will get your back. They fight for you. They don't even get paid unless they get the maximum compensation that you deserve. So go get them today and call them for a free consultation. And don't settle for just any attorney. You drive down 95, there's a million options for different accident attorneys all over the place. There's only one best, and that is Anajar and Levine. Make the real difference in your life. Take the one phone call. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Colin Russo, Damian Perez here. It is Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. World Cup rolls on here after a couple good fixtures yesterday, including Ecuador and Curacao having a very surprising 0-0 draw. Germany winning in the last couple seconds against Ivory Coast 2-1, and then Netherlands winning 5-1 in a dominant fashion over Sweden. Today, the schedule is as follows. Starting things off, you have Spain and Saudi Arabia, who Saudi Arabia had a good draw for what it's worth. They got a result out of the Uruguay first game. Belgium and Iran going at 3. Uruguay, Cape Verde. Cape Verde, last time we saw them, they were able to draw Spain somehow, some way. And Uruguay's looking to get some points on the board. And then New Zealand and Egypt at 9 p.m. And also the Uruguay games at Hard Rock Stadium. Did you consider that?
Yes. Well, I did consider it at first, but I had some family actually coming down from Uruguay. So it was very tough. So we're just going to watch it at the house with the whole family.
So you should family watch. But
yeah.
Honestly, you have a better time doing it.
Honestly, that's kind of what they all said.
Like what? Spend $35,000 on tickets?
$500 a head.
Or spend,
And that's just the ticket. You have to pay for parking too, which is another $100.
Yeah, they get down there. You're getting things at the game. Instead, take that $500 and you could feed a village. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go get as much food as you want, and you guys are good to go. But Uruguay, Cape Verde, let's talk about that really quick. Need a result. Need 3 points.
That's the only option is 3 points. I mean, coming off a game against Saudi Arabia where, you expected to win that. The first half was very slow, but I thought they picked it up in the second half, being Uruguay. They found that tying goal. They could have found the second goal, but I like what I saw in that second half. The first half was very, very hard to watch. The adjustments were made, and I think he nailed the adjustments. And I think those adjustments will carry on into this Cape Verde game. But nonetheless, very, very important game for Uruguay. They have to get 3 points. I don't think a draw would suffice.
I'm thinking about it. A draw sufficing. Let's say they draw. Saudi Arabia loses to Spain, so they're 0-1-1. Cape Verde draws. They're 0-0-2. Same as Uruguay, so now they're goal differentialing their way through.
Uruguay plays Spain.
And then Uruguay finishes with Spain.
Right.
And Cape Verde has Saudi Arabia.
And Spain is probably going to need that game, being that they tied the first one, depending on this result, but I don't think they're going to take that game off.
Wow. That game, they're in danger of getting knocked out if they draw this.
Yes, that's why 3 points is, it's the only option here.
The only option. Wow, okay. So
against Cape Verde, too. I mean, looking at that group, that's the team you circled as the quote-unquote easiest opponent.
And now you got film on them. You know what they look like against Spain. You're not going to get surprised by them, right? Spain got shocked by them.
Yeah.
And Spain got cute. Spain didn't play Lamine Yamal, who I assume is playing today.
Spain, in a way, shot themselves in the foot. That whole game, they were pressuring. Similar to Turkey. And can't remember the other team that was also like that.
Portugal.
Ecuador was the other one. But yes, Portugal as well. That sometimes happens in soccer. And it's dangerous to be in those positions because although you're the better team, you're the better team, you're getting the opportunities, you have the ball, you start getting frustrated. And that's what we saw from Spain in that first game against Cape Verde. And that's what I think Cape Verde is going to try to do to Uruguay in this game tonight.
They're going to try to slow this down and just keep everything keep it 0-0 for all they care.
Defend, hold the line, play on that low block, and just don't allow penetration. That's going to be the key for them.
Lamine Yamal, I assume, is going to be playing today, starting.
Yeah, he'll play. He'll 100%. He probably could have played in that Cape Verde game. They probably overlooked their opponent. I say probably, but I think they definitely did. And
because he subbed in the 70th minute.
It showed because they brought them in the second half, hoping to rescue a win. But I think it's 100% certain he'll play tonight. Or not tonight, in a few hours, actually, in an hour and 20.
Yeah, most likely we'll see Lamine Yamal starting today. If there is a game,
lineups might be out.
Yeah, you can check that. Yeah, Damien, how about you check that right now? See what's going on there. We got about, if not, it'll be out within 10 minutes.
Yep, lineups are out, and Lamine Yamal is in the starting lineup, and so is Dani Olmo, which is another player that I thought should have started.
All right, so Spain is probably done playing with their food, so to speak. They're going to look for a little bit. Argentina lost their first group stage game in last year's World Cup. Is by no means indicative
against Saudi Arabia.
Against Saudi Arabia. It is not indicative of what's going to happen in this tournament, but Spain has a lot to prove today. Everybody else has had a huge game. Germany's had a huge game. France had a huge game. Argentina, United States has had a huge game. Teams like Portugal and Spain need a little bit of a wake-up that, all right, Dutch finally got their big game. The Japan's had a number of big games. You're going to need to show something today. You're going to need to show a little guts.
Absolutely. If they don't, the pressure will just keep adding on. And that's a big thing in this tournament, pressure. Dealing with that pressure. Dealing with being the front runner like Spain is.
And they're actually lucky that there is a draw on the other side, so there's nobody really getting a lead in terms of point differential.
It's like if no one played a game in this group.
Yeah, essentially.
Everybody's at 1 point, goal differential's at 0, so it's literally what you do today can affect your future in this tournament even more than what it did in the first game.
You anticipate anything outside of the predicted to go down between Spain and Uruguay against their opponents?
I'm hoping not. I hope it goes as we predict.
Who's more of a threat, Saudi Arabia comparatively to Cape Verde?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it on paper, they have to be, but it's something worth noting that Cape Verde is, number one, they have momentum coming off that game against Spain.
Got nothing to lose.
And they got nothing to lose, even coming off that tie versus Spain. Even if they would have lost 4-0 versus Spain, they have no expectations. Uruguay is a team that's won 2 World Cups. If Cape Verde gets a result against Uruguay, that's a celebration in a sense, just how it was against Spain. So they're going to be playing with little to no pressure, house money, and with a chance to qualify. That's another thing. They're not eliminated by no means. If they win today or even tie,
they're good.
They're putting themselves in position to make it to the next round.
They'll get in. They'll get in the next round if they win. Yep. Whoever wins today, if there are wins, a 3-point result, those 2 teams are getting in. And then the last 2 teams are going to be fighting for 1 spot, most likely.
Which could come down to that Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabia match, which would be electric, honestly. That
would most likely be a win and in outside of a draw.
For both teams.
Because then the teams get burned there because if it's ever a draw, then they don't have the points and they don't get in.
Even if both teams lose today versus Spain and Uruguay, they still have an opportunity to make it as a 3rd place in that match.
Damien is talking about pressure. In the second hour, we will get into the 5 teams at this point as it stands today with the most pressure to show a little guts here. The rest of the group stage, we'll get into that, get into a whole lot more. But 4 games on the slate today. Belgium, Iran. Belgium, you're watching this group because the United States is going to have to deal with this group.
Right.
They're going to have to deal with either one of New Zealand, Egypt, Belgium, whatever it might be. So we're watching that. I'm watching that with the United States lens, and I'm watching that with who I'd rather not see. And I guess what I could say is I'm rooting for Belgium to, in a lot of ways, they drew in that first game against Egypt, but I'm rooting for Belgium to win that or to not win that group because Belgium's probably the biggest threat in that group. Would you agree out of New Zealand, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand?
Easily. I mean, Belgium is easily the hardest threat out of that group.
You'd rather see if there was Egypt drew them. So if there was a chance that Egypt can potentially steal that group, we'd feel really good about it as United States teams.
To see Belgium not make it out of the group would be immense for the United States men's national team.
So I was looking at this earlier today. As it stands right now, the current knockout bracket, and obviously this is subject to a lot of change. Round of 32 as it stands today is most likely going to be Bosnia. Round of 16, New Zealand or Czechia. Quarters, one of the Congo, Ghana, Uruguay, or Austria. Now, Damien, no offense to you, Uruguay. That is as easy of a route, a path, that a team can possibly get in a World Cup like this.
You're basically playing none of the candidates in your path. So you get to the semifinal, maybe final. So, I mean, absolutely. As much as Uruguay is a team you have to respect. but they're not. They're not.
But
Spain,
you're playing them in the
they're not
quarters.
France.
It's a tier B team.
You're avoiding one of those, I guess, giants of the tournament.
No Norway, no Dutch, no France, no Spain, none of that. And that's even if all these teams win. Now, can I conspiracy theorize a little bit? The FIFA organized this purposely. They wanted the United States to make a run. Not saying that they obviously they can't play the games for the United States, but they could change the bracket
right
with some idea of what it would look like. They could change that.
Now, what I will say to that is, yes, USA is in a great spot now, but at the beginning of the World Cup, I mean, you looked at that group, and it wasn't like USA was the overwhelming favorites. There was question marks, and I felt like all the teams in that group were basically at the same level. Now, USA has proved that to be wrong. They're head over heels over
every single Australia, every team there. Yeah.
It's not even like an assumption or a speculation. They've showed that they're a lot better than Australia and Paraguay, and I believe Turkey. But I mean, when you look at that path, it's like how did this happen? Not one of the giants in this tournament until what, the semifinal?
That would be ridiculous.
Extremely
that would be
favorable.
ridiculous.
Extremely, but we see those paths. We see those paths sometimes happen in other sports. It's really just to be a champion. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
That's it. And imagine if you're a team that has to deal. If you're Portugal and you got to deal with Spain in the first game or something like that. Comparatively to the United States, having two easy I say loosely, they're got to take your opponent seriously, but two easier games comparatively. It's unbelievable to kind of compare the paths.
It doesn't matter if Portugal wins or is runner-ups in their group. They're going to run into Argentina at some point before the semifinal. So, I mean, to your point.
That's what we're hoping for. That's a circled game, too. You talk about Germany, France. Hopefully.
That would probably be the most watched game of the tournament, Argentina, Portugal, in whatever round that's in, just because of Messi versus Ronaldo.
The implications, the international stage, they very rarely play against each other these days because one's in the Saudi League, one's in the MLS. Who knows if they'll ever play again? Wow.
Like, I'm trying to think of a rivalry to compare it to in other sports, and you just can't. It's like if Michael Jordan and LeBron James played in the same era.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it is.
It's a career-long rivalry. And how often do you see career-long rivalries?
You see it in tennis.
Yeah, you see it in tennis. Good point. Sinner Alcaraz, they're lockstep their whole career. Nadal, Federer.
And it will be for what, another 10, 15 years?
Lockstep their whole career, Nadal and Federer. There's a good example. That's what you could do. Tiger had no rivals. Scheffler plays every week, but him and Rory are not in lockstep every single
time. Tom Brady
tournament.
didn't really have that. There was
Brady had
people stepped up, but it wasn't like throughout his whole career. There was this one guy that he was looking out for.
Brady had a Grim Reaper in Eli, but he did not have a rival. No, he beat Mahomes when it mattered, and he beat Manning most times when it mattered. So,
and there's no discussion of who the better player is.
Basketball, like LeBron and Curry, like I'll call it a rival. They weren't the same position. They would play in the finals, but Curry mostly dominated.
And they're too friendly. At the end of the day, they're way too friendly with each other.
Good point. There's no animosity. There's real animosity between Messi and Ronaldo.
Ronaldo can't even hear the word Messi be mentioned at the dinner table without his night being ruined. So,
wow. Bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter. Bring back bitter rivalry. And I think Sinner Alcaraz is not a bad example. They're all tennis guys who are buddies, but they hate each other on the court.
Yeah, not when they're playing. They're buddies afterwards, but when they're playing, they're yelling at each other. So
wow.
You got to love it.
Yeah, I like it indeed. that will be, you're right. And I got to figure, in the break, I'm going to figure out when potentially that could be because I love the schedule and I'll figure out the date and time.
I want to say that's a round of 16, but don't quote me. A lot of things can change. But the way the trajectories are kind of shaping up now, they're probably looking to play in the round of 16.
Yeah, so we're looking at Group J, of course, and then Portugal's group is, what is Portugal's group again? Group J, is enough for Argentina. And Portugal's Group K, it was right next to them. So Group K and Group J, we're looking at the bracket here, and 1J will play probably a third-place team. And actually, no, they'll play a second-place team. They're one of the rare teams that does. 2H. Yeah, they would need – Portugal needs to win that group.
To avoid Argentina.
Yeah. Portugal needs to win that
If they're runners-up, they could play in the round of 16 from what I'm trying to interpret. It's very confusing.
1K.
This is like a math equation.
I got it right here. Actually, it's like this. 1K and 1J, which is Portugal and Argentina's group. They would play, in the quarterfinal if it came to it.
So one round after the round of 16.
If they both won.
Third round of the knockout stage.
They would play July 11th, 9 p.m., Kansas City at Arrowhead, where Messi is undefeated, by the way. But
did you know he's got more games won at Arrowhead than Derek Carr?
Yeah. Derek Carr's 1-9.
I think he's got 9 games played in at Arrowhead, and Messi's.
So let me throw this out there: 2K is on the other side of the bracket, so they would be on the other side of the bracket. That is 2K. That's Portugal finishing in second.
Okay.
So that would be on the other side of the bracket.
If you're Portugal, you're almost looking to finish in second. That means Colombia would play Argentina, which is another rivalry.
And 2K will play 2L, and that would be Ghana, Croatia, Panama.
So there's almost more of a benefit, at least.
You're going to have Croatia the first game. Yeah, you're going to have Croatia that first game, most likely.
Which Croatia, they're I love Croatia. They're a very respected team, but yes, they're very old. Very old team.
Not your year anymore. 2K, and then they would play the winner of 1H, and H is Spain's group. So you could potentially have, a little Portugal-Spain or Portugal-Uruguay to finish it. I love playing out these schedules and who could play who. We'll get further into it as we enter into the second hour. We're going to talk about the 5 teams with the most pressure to show something the rest of the group stage. That's Damian Perez, Colin Russo. It is Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet and ESPN 106.3.
This soccer season, bring home a win that lasts beyond the final whistle. If hard water is spotting dishes, dulling laundry, and drying out your skin, that's a foul. Culligan has helped families since 1936 with free water testing and reverse osmosis systems that filter contaminants at the source. While the tournament ends soon, Culligan keeps savings going. Enjoy 12 months with no payments and no interest. Schedule your free water test today at Culligan.com. Serving South Florida, Vero Beach to Miami Beach.
Hey, Culligan man!
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Listen live for all of your Inter Miami coverage, including play-by-play, weekly shows, and all the latest on the Herons. If it's Inter Miami, it's on ESPN 106.3. Listen on the ESPN South Florida app or stream it on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Stay connected with Inter Miami anytime, anywhere. Presented by Hard Rock Bet, Florida's only legal sportsbook. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE today.
Need an extra boost? With Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union, you can earn up to $700 each year with a 7.0% annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's real money for real moments, like a family getaway or treating yourself to something special. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Since 2006, EDS Air Conditioning has kept Palm Beach County comfortable through every summer, every storm, and every season in between. EDS Air Conditioning is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. From dial thermostats to today's smart home systems, EDS delivers reliable comfort you can count on. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, they've earned your trust. 20 years of keeping Palm Beach cool. Visit EDSIsYes.com today.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. There's nothing better than sports on a Sunday.
The return to glory.
It's time to kick off.
20, he will score!
Tip off.
Way down top, bang! Bang!
Or tee off.
They're gonna go nuts when he hits this thing.
On Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Second hour of Sunday Huddle here on the 21st of June, 2026. I believe this is the first day of summer. I mean, geez, it's been a while since I looked at the solstice, either today or tomorrow. But
it's been summer for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been summer for about 2 months. But Damian Prez behind the glass today. We're at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida. A lot of World Cup action to get into. We'll also blitz the book a little later on with 4 games on the slate on the docket. You also got the last day of the U.S. Open, which is taking place at Shinnecock in Southampton, New York, which has not been, weirdly enough, it's been a good tournament for everybody else. But the fact is you have Wyndham Clark, who is in danger of just really closing it pretty early.
Would be his second in a row, right?
Would be his second U.S. Open for Wyndham Clark, and also is 7 under when everybody else is 1 under.
This is wrapped up.
Most outside of a barring an unbelievable collapse. And they asked Sahith Theegala about it after his round yesterday, who was, I believe, at even or 1 under. They go, Sahith, what are you going to need to get back into this? He goes, I can't do much. He goes, we all need Wyndham to collapse.
Right.
And he was pretty candid about that. He goes, he needs to collapse.
He could have the best,
I could play the best golf of my life, but this guy is going to need it weird. And he didn't want to say it. He was trying to word salad his way around like, nothing happens unless he collapses. Right. And
that's pressure, though.
That is pressure. And Scotty Scheffler, Sahith Theegala are both 1 under at 6 strokes back, and they tee off at the same time. But Wyndham Clark shot a 64, 69, 70. I mean,
he's trending down.
Does par win this day? Probably. It's a par 70. If he shoots a 70 and doesn't change his score at all, he probably wins. So he is probably going in today thinking, at worst, I could shoot as a 72. But if I go par,
no double bogeys today.
No double bogeys. No water. If I shoot a 70, I'll win this. So you're hoping that a little bit of guts can be showed by everybody else, and then hopefully a lack of guts can be showed by Wyndham Clark. Scheffler's right there. Scheffler's the story of his season has been terrible start in round 1. Round 2 and 3, excellent. And then he's in the mix, but he's not in the lead. And then all of a sudden he's going to run her up. That's been the story of Scotty Scheffler's life. And keep in mind, there's only 5 guys at the U.S. Open under par. 5 guys. And
unforgiving course.
Unforgiving course. Everybody has struggled. For some reason, Wyndham Clark has dominated this event. And I have a hard time seeing somebody go 6 under today to tie him. I think par wins him the day, and I think he's going to go into that.
How much success does he have in other tournaments, or is it almost like he circles this one?
Well, like Wyndham has had a weird career. He's 32 years old. He's been in the mix for a while, but in terms of results, not necessarily impressive. You want to see how he's done recently? Well, recently he was great. He did win the Byron Nelson, which was a couple weeks ago. He finished 3rd at the Memorial Tournament. He was fine at the Canadian Open, but his early part of the season, right, from January through March, tied for 13th, tied for 65th, tied for 35th, tied for 58th, 41, 42, missed cut.
Wow.
Missed a cut at the PGA.
He's waiting for summer almost.
Yeah, weirdly enough. And it's just a strange player, strange year. You're hoping that the U.S. Open, which has not had any juice yet, and I haven't had much time to watch it, admittedly, but I did watch that first day when it was a lot more interesting than Wyndham Clark, but he hasn't made it interesting. He needs to collapse. And he's not going to collapse. I'd be shocked if he collapsed in the back 9. But
I will say all-time name, Wyndham Clark.
That's a golfer's name.
Just rolls right off your tongue.
That's a golfer's name. So keep an eye on the U.S. Open a little bit. He doesn't tee off till 2:30 alongside Scotty Scheffler. And then Sahith Theegala, Tom Kim are rounding up right in front of them at 2:19, who are also 1 under apiece. Some other guys to keep an eye on. Colin Morikawa, Keegan Bradley, all there sitting at 1 over. Tommy Fleetwood's 1 over. Roy McIlroy is 3 over. He has not played well as the rounds have went along. But this has been a tournament that has not, Captain America himself, Cam Young, has not shot under par at this tournament yet. And he is already going already. So keep an eye on it. But this is Wyndham Clark. Sahith Theegala said it. Sahith, how are you going to get back into this? How am I going to get back into this? We need Wyndham to collapse.
We need and then anybody can all-time collapse here.
Yeah. So that's what you'll keep an eye on over at the U.S. Open. You could bet on the U.S. Open. You want to bet on a collapse? You think U.S. Open is going to get interesting? You want to take a flyer on Scotty? Go do it on the Hard Rock Bet app. You could bet game by game in the World Cup. You can bet game by game in baseball. You can go player props. You can go parlays. You can go futures. You can do U.S. Open. You can do tennis. Whatever you like, Hard Rock Bet has it available. Go check it out today and go bet it. And go refer a friend and get $50 in bonus bets if you refer a friend on the app. And in your first 10 bets for a maximum of $50. If you bet anything under $50 in your first 10 bets, you win them, you double your money. You get to double your winnings, I should say, in those first 10 bets. That's how they incentivize new players getting on board. And it's a fun app because the interface is easy for the new player, but it's also experience for the experienced player. That is Hard Rock Bet. Go check it out today. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in front of the wager. Terms and conditions do apply. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE. All right, Damien. Eyes today. Let's talk about this really quickly. We've talked about pressure quite a bit. And pressure to win, like England is pressure. But England hasn't played that way. They've played loose, and they had a great game against Croatia.
Why the first game's so important.
The rest of the group stage, let's figure out 5 teams who are under immense pressure. And what I mean by that is you need to show something not for the sake of getting out of the group, but for the sake of showing something for path, everything like that. I get 2 immediately in mind, Portugal and Spain. And
Portugal is like everyone's number 1 right now.
Need to be on the list.
Absolutely.
And we'll figure out where we'd put them in the 1 through 5. But I would say those 2, I would say Ecuador has a ton of pressure.
Yes.
And weirdly enough, a team like Uruguay.
Yeah.
Ton of pressure.
Absolutely, especially after not even making it out of the group stage in their last World Cup. I mean, you could absolutely put Uruguay in that list, no doubt.
Those are 4 right there. Outside of that, are you worried from Croatia's perspective? Do they have pressure?
I'm worried about Croatia. I wouldn't say pressure because I don't know how much expectations they really had coming in.
Fair enough.
I don't want to say Spain because, Spain
has got pressure.
They got pressure.
They're so good, but they have pressure here to show something.
I would say Belgium. I'd say Belgium is another team that's got a lot of pressure. And this is something that we hear from Belgium every World Cup. Coming in, they're one of the best teams in the world. They're always ranked in the top 10 of the world. They get to the World Cup, and they always struggle immensely. So I would put Belgium in that list of pressure.
All right. So Belgium, Portugal, Uruguay, Ecuador. Is Spain on this list? Most pressure throughout the rest of the group stage? Are they on that list?
I think we have to add them after it.
You're not worried about them. You're not. And Damien, you're the one who said a number of times that
we'll put them on the list because, like you said, you're not worried about them qualifying, but I think them winning 1-0 in this next game would not suffice.
Right.
There would still be questions asked. So I think they have the pressure because they have to win. And they have to win convincingly against Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, so number 5 would definitely be Spain in that regard in terms of most pressure the rest of the group stage because you're not in danger of falling out, but in terms of how they've played, it's a
situation. You want to see something.
You got to see something. I totally agree. What do you think about number 4? Would that be Belgium here?
Yes, Belgium at 4.
Belgium at 4. Belgium's in a situation where a draw in the first game.
I'll flip. I'll put Ecuador at 4 because. Yes, they have pressure. They were coming in as one of the hottest teams in the tournament.
I'm surprised you don't have Ecuador higher on this. I mean, they don't have a win on the board
They
yet.
play Germany, though. They're going to be the overwhelming underdogs in that game. So when we're talking about from a pressure perspective, yes, we want them to win, but how realistic is it that they do win?
Well, they might benefit from Germany not needing the game. Keep that in mind. So if Germany doesn't need the game, they might get a free win out of that. That's the benefit to playing the top team in the group late, because there's a chance that they don't need the game, you know? But, all right, so you want to put Ecuador for, I would say Ecuador higher.
They also had a very tough group. I mean, looking at that group, Germany, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, like that's a very, very hard group. If you're looking at Belgium, you're up against New Zealand, Iran, Egypt. You should be winning that group without any issues.
Yeah, and having a draw in the first game kind of changes things up a little bit. All right, fair enough. So you want to do Ecuador at 4, Belgium at 3?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 has to be Portugal. I don't think they're number 1.
What's the other team?
Well, I mean, we were thinking Uruguay.
I would put Portugal at 1 over Uruguay.
Even as a Uruguay fan?
Yes. And Uruguay coming in wasn't one of the favorites to win. Portugal was. And I think Portugal, if you look at their roster.
But you're nervous about Uruguay not getting out if they somehow have a bad game against Cape Verde.
Oh, I'm terrified. Even though it's Cape Verde. I mean, in these games in the World Cup, sometimes it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's more about how you manage the pressure. That's a lot of what's happening to Uruguay. They're coming off of a World Cup where they didn't even make it out of the group stage in 2018.
Yeah.
And in this group, the first game, you're disappointed in a tie. You have a disappointing Copa America too before the World Cup. So am I nervous? Yes. But at the end of the day, Uruguay wasn't one of the candidates to win it all. They were a candidate to make it out of the group stage. That's why they do have pressure. But when you look at Portugal, I mean, you're a candidate to win it all. This is not only your golden era, but basically 80% of your golden era in its peak, excluding Ronaldo. And there's a lot of question marks, too. Like, what's Portugal going to do in this next game? Are you going to start Ronaldo? Are you going to bench Ronaldo, which I think they should? So that's why I think there's more pressure in Ronaldo. There's
a little bit of an identity crisis.
Right. You're not just like looking to get a result. You're also similar to Spain. You're looking to get back your identity, like you just said.
Yeah, an identity crisis, I think, does put Portugal in a precarious position. And, I mean, weirdly enough, they just had a draw. Congo and them are going to have a little bit of a rat race to see who could get that second spot.
And they got a very, very tough match going up against Colombia.
That'll be the last game. Or they got Uzbekistan first.
And then Colombia, which, I mean, it's going to be very tough to close out against Colombia. Maybe Colombia's in a position where, similar to Germany, they don't need that game. But if you're playing Colombia, that's one of the hardest teams to play against. I mean, Uruguay plays them so much in CONMEBOL. We've actually played them in World Cups as well. Very, very tough out against Colombia.
Yeah, I'm curious on what Portugal's even going to learn from this Uzbekistan game, because Uzbekistan is not one of the top teams in the tournament. They're probably going to be one of the few teams that actually don't make it out of the group stage. Portugal could play well in that game. I know we said the same thing probably about Congo, but Portugal could play well in that game, but it doesn't necessarily. Are they putting like a Band-Aid on a real wound,
Yeah.
Like, they play okay. They win 2-1 against Uzbekistan. Ronaldo's able to score. That's not indicative of their major problems because they're not playing a top-tier team, right?
Or if they win, like you said, 2-1, and Ronaldo has the same game that he had against Congo.
Yeah, they're gonna.
But at the end of the day, you won.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, maybe I shouldn't change things against Colombia because of that win.
Put makeup on a pig. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it's a very peculiar situation that Portugal's in right now.
Identity crisis. Not a good time to have an identity crisis.
I almost feel bad for like the Bruno Fernandes of the world, the Leaos of the world, who they just want to focus on, the World Cup and this run. And there's all these questions about
a lot of drama.
Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo being in the starting lineup, Portugal tying their first game against Congo. There's a lot of distractions going into it. So interesting to see how they manage all of that.
Ronaldo's legacy has bled over entirely too much into what he is today.
Yeah.
Mike Rizzo's at fault of that as well. Whenever you talk to Mike Rizzo about how Portugal has played with Ronaldo, and he circles back to how good he's been over his career. Well, right now, Portugal needs to make a run. So that's where it gets tricky if he is not going to be an elite player for them.
And all the questions that we ask if they do have a bad game with Ronaldo playing 90 minutes is centered around Ronaldo. Because and I asked him this question, if Argentina went out, tied their first game, didn't look the way they looked, what would we be talking about?
Messi.
So it's the same thing with Ronaldo. When you're at that level,
If Messi was a detriment on the team too, like an obvious detriment.
Exactly. And if there was a player on the bench that should be starting over Messi, we'd be talking about the situation Argentina's in with Messi right now. So that's why it's a tough situation for Portugal right now. A lot of distractions.
It's almost hard to fathom because that would never happen. Weirdly enough, in this day and age, Messi has just been so unbelievably good. It's hard to imagine him, that team losing or drawing because of him. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, there's a sense of loyalty due to the resume.
And the personalities are different. Messi's a quiet guy. So
and his teammates love him.
If he's not having a good game, you almost don't notice him. But when Ronaldo's not having a good game, he's yelling at his teammates. He's throwing tantrums. He's having gestures. So it's two different personalities as well.
And you got the sense that the Argentinian teammates absolutely love Messi.
Messi's God.
Yes, they revere Ronaldo, it seems. I was at the practice. It didn't seem like he's not the leader. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that. Like, he's a little Kevin Durant lad.
Before this head coach, and I forget his name, but before the head coach that Portugal has now, their previous head coach had actually benched Ronaldo.
And I'm sure that caused a turf war.
Probably. And now this new head coach, brought him back into the starting lineup.
Roberto Martinez.
Yes. So that's also a dynamic that's interesting because if you're a player on this team, you probably thought, okay, we turn the page, it's a new era, and now we get this new head coach, Roberto Martinez, brings them back into the starting lineup when we had already moved on. So I think that's something playing into this.
So Portugal, by and large, the rest of the way, most pressure above all teams.
In my opinion, yes.
I would agree. And it's a team that the Spain game was, there's reasons. There's filling in the gaps. Yamal was not healthy.
Spain was the better team on the field,
right.
too. They just couldn't score.
It was an unlucky game. Think Turkey. That was just one of those games. Portugal, sure, made mistakes. They had bad opportunities, this, that, and the other, a bad game plan. But Portugal, in my opinion, Congo wasn't afraid of them.
They could have won that game.
Yeah, Congo was not afraid of them. They offered something that Portugal didn't really have answers for in their speed and the physicality. Those African teams have done a good job with that. But so because of that, Portugal it looked a little worse. It was a little bit more sour because of Ronaldo. And I think everybody and their mother wanted a chance to dunk on Ronaldo because of how much dominance he's had. Let's be honest for a second. Thierry Henry.
There's definitely something to do with
Zlatan,
that.
all the guys who haven't had a chance to dunk on Ronaldo for a game or two, they're going to take advantage. But they got to Uzbekistan, and if they win and it doesn't look pretty, but they get it done, then we're going to be going in that Colombia game with a lot of questions.
Yeah, and you mentioned players like Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ronaldo was, in his career, his attitude and his ego, you kind of put it aside because he was really good and he had a lot of success. But he's similar to Draymond Green. You love Draymond Green if he's on your team, but you do not like him if he's off your team. Once he's a rival, you can't stand him. And that's kind of how Ronaldo was throughout his whole career.
It's like that old coaching mantra in college football. You could be a pain in the rear end and win and get away with it.
Right. The minute you start losing,
you could be a good guy, like a really easy guy to deal with, and lose and get away with it. You can't be a pain in the rear end and lose.
Right.
A lot easier to swallow.
It'll be an avalanche at that point.
That's it. They can't wait to get ready. They'll deal with you if you're winning, but not winning. Questions will arise. We'll continue on the program here. We'll blitz the book a little later on, talk about some matchups today. More World Cup talk. That's Damian Perez, Colin Russo. It's Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Summer is officially here. The sun's out, the grill's going, the weekends feel a little longer. And with Gießen 0%, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of premium wine without the alcohol. Bright citrus, tropical notes, clean, refreshing flavor, made for warm nights and good company. From poolside afternoons to sunset dinners, Gießen fits the pace of your summer, keeping you sharp, social, and fully in the moment. Gießen 0%, real wine for real life. The moment is now.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia. Have you ever wished buying a car could actually feel easy? At Greenway Kia West Palm Beach, it does, especially during the summer sticker sales event. Just call Lonnie Mister, tell him what you're looking for, and before you arrive, he'll have a vehicle ready out front, washed, gassed up, and waiting for you. He'll even text you photos so you know exactly what to expect. No games, no pressure, no hidden fees. Just real people helping real people. With hundreds of new Kias arriving, including the Telluride, K4, K5, Sportage, and all-electric EV9, there's never been a better time to find the perfect ride. Not sure which Kia is right for you? Take advantage of Greenway Kia's exclusive 24-hour test drive. Take it home, drive it, and make sure it's the one. Plus, this week only, the Greenway Kia Credit Clinic is back. Let their team work hard to help get you approved. Call 561-433-1511 and ask for Lonnie Mister. Greenway Kia West Palm Beach, where buying a car feels personal.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Whether you need batteries, tires, or services, we know you depend on your vehicle. You can depend on St. Lucie Battery and Tire. With the largest inventories, expert technicians, and a best price out the door every day guaranteed, you'll drive away with confidence. Life doesn't stop, and neither should your car. St. Lucie Battery and Tire is here for you. Our experts keep your vehicle ready with batteries, tires, and service you can trust. Fast, friendly, and always reliable.
This soccer season, bring home a win that lasts beyond the final whistle. If hard water is spotting dishes, dulling laundry, and drying out your skin, that's a foul. Culligan has helped families since 1936 with free water testing and reverse osmosis systems that filter contaminants at the source. While the tournament ends soon, Culligan keeps savings going. Enjoy 12 months with no payments and no interest. Schedule your free water test today at Culligan.com. Serving South Florida, Vero Beach to Miami Beach.
Hey, Culligan man! Hey, it's Steph Prince here, and in South Florida, you need an AC team that can deliver in the clutch. That's why my family trusts Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning. As a mom of 3, trust me, when your AC goes down, you don't want to strike out with the wrong company. You want a team that keeps the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps the family cool. And Bob Bradley knows a thing or two about coaching a winning team. He coached his son Bobby all the way to becoming a first-round draft pick, and now he's helping his grandson Trey develop his game. And one thing's for sure, high standards run in the Bradley family. Bob brings that same major league mindset to the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning. From residential and commercial repairs to installations, maintenance, and upgrades, they step up to the plate and get the job done right the first time. And while Bob waits for Trey's call to the majors, he's still delivering major league service every single day right here in South Florida. Call Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning today at 561-793-7497 or visit bradleyair.com.
Need an extra boost? With Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union, you can earn up to $700 each year with a 7.0% annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's real money for real moments, like a family getaway or treating yourself to something special. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Buffoon, Orbit Topper, 19 Uber, Jailbreak, Ralph Chowder.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet, ESPN 106.3. We got Damian Perez, Colin Russo, a hot South Florida day, the 21st of June, 2026. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday drive. As we have a little U.S. Open action later on today. We get some World Cup action later on today. A lot of things to look forward to, a lot of things to talk about. First things first, if you're in your car, getting a little bit of a fender bender, somebody clips your mirror, oh my gosh, who's going to defend it? Who's going to pay for this? Well, we need an accident attorney, and we need Anajar and Levine. They cover car accidents, truck accidents, slip and falls. They'll fight for you. They don't even get paid unless you do. They'll fight for you, get the maximum compensation that you deserve. They're the best option in South Florida, and there's a lot of them. You drive down 95 and check out all the billboards. There's 1,000 of them. But if you look at like Hard Rock Bet, you could see the Anajar and Levine, their name right above the end zone, and you could really get the top of the line defense when it comes to accident attorneys. Go check them out today and make the real difference in your life. Get a free consultation and take that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Damian Perez, Colin Russo, Sunday Huddle. United States men's national team in a good spot, clinched the group. You already have Mexico and Germany as well, clinched the group. So a couple teams have already started to put their stamp on that round of 32 as it stands today. The United States has proven to be an excellent host country on top of Mexico and Canada.
And a candidate at this point.
Yeah, Canada had Toronto. Canada had that Germany game. And did you see that the German fan who's traveling around the United States?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see? So he's on Twitter. This guy named Freddie. And he has gained, I think, like 1 million followers in the past 3 weeks because he was just some German kid that started in Atlanta, road trip through the south of the United States, like posted on Twitter, was really like taking in like what the United States has to offer. And everybody started, all these famous people started like giving him benefits. He got a tour of the Pelicans.
Wow.
He got a tour of the Saints facility. He got a tour of NASA in Houston, like through like spaceships. And he was in some part, maybe Arizona. J.J. Watt put him up in an amazing hotel. Then he was going to go to
Mr. Arizona, right?
Then
there.
he was going to go to a Germany game. Germany Ivory Coast was in Toronto, so he was thinking, all right. And his flight gets canceled like 2 days ago. I don't know why he's flying the day before a game. You should be there a couple days in advance. But he was flying across to get to Toronto, and his plane got canceled. He tweets about it. He's got 1 million followers, or hundreds of thousands. And every single airline you could think of responds.
It's marketing for them at the end of the day.
Let us help you. Let us help you. Let us help you. In comes J.J. Watt once again. He gets on an American flight to Buffalo and drives. It's actually, that's what I would have done. And J.J. covered the whole thing,
Good
first class and everything. First class and everything, and he made it for the game.
Amazing. I've also been seeing videos of like the most recent one was tourists from Norway, and they walk into a Bass Pro shop. And they're just absolutely like amazed, like
just the size,
and how there was an aquarium inside and all the clothes. So it really goes to show. I mean, we're really blessed to be here.
Weirdly enough, and the Norwegian fan has been funny too because they're doing the rowing celebration, whatever they call it. They do woo, woo, which is awesome. You get the Scottish fan.
They're so Viking.
Yep, the Scottish fan who's not going to be here much longer, but has taken over.
They might make it as a third place team.
Yeah,
though.
you think so?
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, that'd be great.
I think right now they're in the mix. Let me see.
The Japan team.
Yeah, they're second.
Yeah.
They're ranked second out of all the best third place teams right now. Sweden number 1, Scotland number 2.
Where do you see the rankings of the third place team? Is that on ESPN or something like that?
It's on this app called FUTMob.
Oh, it's on FUTMob.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how they rank it. Is that how the FIFA is going to use it? That ranking?
Yeah. So it comes down to 1 through 12, and 1 through 8 qualify as the best third place team.
Tell me the bottom 4 of those 12 third place teams.
Bottom 4, we got Bosnia at 9, Panama, Jordan, and Senegal.
Okay.
Ecuador at 8, Czech at 7.
Who's 8?
Ecuador. But that can change. This list is going to change dramatically.
Ecuador might not beat Germany.
Yeah.
And Bosnia needs a win.
The third place teams is the one that's going to change more than the winners and the runner-ups. You can kind of dictate who's going to win the groups now. But it's that third place teams that's really going to come down to the last few matches.
And it's always been strange about how FIFA's going to schedule it once you get into first place versus third place. But I think it has all to do with the rankings. Whatever rankings I think they do like points, goal differential. I even think FIFA ranking goes into it. But
so when so it's not the best third place team.
Because how do you rank that? How do you rank that? There are not that many differentiators.
And there's probably so many ties.
They played one game.
Yeah.
Draws. I mean, maybe a loss.
It really goes down to yellow cards too. At some point, that's a tiebreaker, and that's a tiebreaker that I've seen that messes with some of the teams.
Right.
Because if you're tied in goals, you're tied. The head-to-head, you tied head-to-head.
How do you differentiate?
It comes down to discipline,
Right.
and that's something teams sometimes overlook.
Yeah. So I'm curious on how FIFA will do it, how this will get played out. I think a week from now, we'll have a much better understanding about what it's going to look like after this next stage of group stage games. But from here on out, now you're just kind of theorizing on that. And then, this story so far, the next couple days, we have the games today, and then Monday's games, we will see Argentina take the field again. They're going to take on Austria. France going to take on Iraq. Norway's going to take on Senegal, and Jordan's going to take on Algeria. Weirdly enough, fun teams, not great games.
But the implications will be there.
That's
what it'll make it fun.
Norway has to win. France is likely going to win easy. So Norway, therefore, has to win so they can put themselves in a win-and-in situation on
Norway
Friday.
right now, they are the leader of that group.
Right.
So a tie against France would be absolutely that would probably be a win for Norway at that point.
Remember, France going against Iraq, and France going to put on goals too.
Norway plays Senegal in that last match.
So France going to put some goals up. So I agree with you.
Iraq will be eliminated by then.
Yeah, they'll be eliminated. And Norway plays France on Friday. And in order for that game to be great, you want it to be a win and in. So therefore, you want both those teams to win.
You almost wanted that game to be the last one out of the group stage if you're Norway or France.
Which one? The Iraq game or the?
No, Norway versus France.
Well, it is the last of their group stage. It's on Friday. So that's their last group stage game is this Friday, Norway and France.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
So Norway plays Senegal in the next match.
On Monday.
That would be huge.
And what we want as a fan of it, you want both those teams to win. Because then you get into a win and win the group.
Against France.
Because if Norway to lose that and France is there, then France doesn't necessarily, they could play the game, but they just can't lose.
I'm wondering if that's how FIFA designed it, because it's the same thing in Group H, in Uruguay-Spain group. The last match of that group is Uruguay-Spain.
And
that can decide the group.
Portugal-Colombia, another one.
Yeah,
that'll be the last one there.
So I wonder if that was Now I know when they make the groups, all the teams get placed into. It's 4 different, I guess, groups.
Yep, quadrants.
And depending on how you qualified, how well you did in the qualification rounds, 1 being the best quadrant, 4th being the worst quadrant. So obviously that had something to do with it too.
Right.
The first quadrant teams played the second quadrant teams as the last matchup in the group stage.
The last day of the group stage is on Saturday, the 27th. And it comes up with, they get 6 games. Weirdly enough, Argentina is the last team to be playing. But what you're going to keep an eye on is Colombia, Portugal is next Saturday at 7:30. Croatia and Ghana will be for a spot. And then you go from there. But, yeah, so once it's done on Saturday, then you get into officially knockout stage games where the United States is still not going to play until Wednesday. So a ton of time off for the U.S. men's national team. Do you
think that could be beneficial, or could it almost get in the way?
You tell me. At what point is this going to get too much time off? Is too much time off?
Well, that brings. I remember you asked me this question in our first segment. How important is that game for USA versus Turkey? I think you want to keep this momentum going.
You want to win.
You want to win, and you want to show up. You want to show up. You want to leave that game with a good sensation, especially because you're going to have a long break between the group stage and the knockout stage.
Now, Turkey has been unlucky. Turkey is already eliminated, so who knows how they're going to portray or view that game, what's their perception of the game. But
they're going to look for a win.
U.S., that's not an excuse to not, they still should not play the guys they shouldn't play. Tyler Adams, they shouldn't play Pulisic. But if they're, I won't say second stringers, but if a couple guys off the bench can come in and they could still win, that does worlds for you in terms of just momentum, because then you can trust guys off the bench.
Especially from a coaching perspective, like you just mentioned.
Now you trust a couple guys off the bench. So I think Pochettino and the U.S. team are going to go at it like a game, but they're just going to go at it like they got 3 injuries. Like Pulisic's hurt, and then let's Tyler out, or the yellow guys. Cards. The key guy's out. He's hurt, whatever. And they're going to utilize it and kind of walk towards that game like it's a big-time matchup, but you just have a little less horses in the den. Which is fine because they could still win. They could still win. Down to Adams, Pulisic, they could still win.
Yeah, and they showed that versus Australia. They were down Pulisic, which, was the focal point of this team, and were still able to show up and kind of play in a way where you didn't even notice that Pulisic wasn't even on.
Mostly unchallenged. So I do think that I agree with you. I think we're on the same page there. You're going to have to, listen, you lose, big deal, but for a momentum's sake, going 3-0 in the group,
it's important.
Going right into groups, knockout stage, everybody getting healthy. That'll feel good.
It's almost just as important as rest, I would argue. Keeping that momentum going, especially being the team that's playing at home.
And 2 weeks, it's 12 days of rest. That's a long time.
If you win all 3 games of your group stage, what's going to be the talk? What's all you're going to hear? There's going to be a lot of excitement. USA
people are going to start talking about USA winning this.
They're going to be. They already are. Yeah. And to with good point. I don't think that's an exaggeration at this point to say USA's got a chance to win it all, especially after we just broke down the path.
We just talked about the path. I mean, you're telling me that they could get to the quarterfinal and not play anybody that is that dangerous, and they could potentially get to the semifinal, also potentially not playing anybody that dangerous. then then it's anybody's.
Right.
Then it's anybody's. Can they hold a candle to what France has to offer? Probably not. That's why you play the games. That's why you play the games.
And soccer is a sport where you see upsets all the time. I mean, you really got to play these games, like you just said. It's not just looking at it on paper and saying, oh, France got it. No, you have to play these games, especially when the team you're playing is the team that's playing at home.
I hate talking like this, but I'm going to bring it up once and one time only. If they were to win, how do they celebrate? What do they do, a parade in every state?
That's a good question. That's a very good question because,
how do you do that?
The Knicks won, you do a parade at
in
home.
New York.
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean,
do they do 50 states in 50 days?
They'd probably do something around the capital, like Washington, D.C., being that Washington is, the capital, the central location. But that's a great question. Maybe you have 2 or 3 tours, a West Coast tour, a East Coast tour, and a central tour.
That's probably what you do.
But
you probably do like an LA, you probably do like a Seattle, you probably do a New York, you probably do a Miami.
But from a probability standpoint, I mean, USA winning the World Cup would be
the most monumental win in decades.
I can't even think of something to compare it to. I mean, the odds were what, plus 6,000 before the tournament even started.
Was it? Oh boy.
Yeah, it was something unbelievable.
If it was plus 6,000, we'll take a look on the other side and see what the new odds are on the Hard Rock Bet app, because I do think listen, I'm not there yet. I think we're putting the cart a little before the horse, but you got to talk about it when you get that easy of a path. Potentially. So just off of possibility's sake, all I'm saying, just hold out a little bit of hope.
Currently, USA's odds are in between 2,800 and 3,300.
That's halved. So it's halved.
Depending on what.
It was plus
what
6,000. Now it's about 3,000.
It's at half.
Wow. We'll close the program next. We'll blitz the book. Maybe we'll sprinkle a little action on that. Damian Perez, Colin Russo, Sunday Huddle closing things after this on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and smart home technology is getting out of control. My fridge just signed up for a monthly hummus subscription. My microwave created a dating profile, and my thermostat is on TikTok. Meanwhile, ESPN 106.3 keeps it simple. Sports talk, no spying, no privacy policy, not consenting to cookies. What am I supposed to do with all this hummus? ESPN 106.3, the only thing we track is the score.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Since 2006, EDS Air Conditioning has kept Palm Beach County comfortable through every summer, every storm, and every season in between. EDS Air Conditioning is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. From dial thermostats to today's smart home systems, EDS delivers reliable comfort you can count on. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, they've earned your trust. 20 years of keeping Palm Beach cool. Visit EDSisyes.com today.
Ford is here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you value what we value. Now offering employee pricing. American value for American values. Go to Ford.com or your local Ford dealer for more information.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Robert Gilman, partner and leader of Anshin's Real Estate Group.
Under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, 100% bonus depreciation has been permanently reinstated. Real estate businesses are now able to immediately expense the full cost of qualifying property. Even projects with millions in improvements can benefit from first-year expensing without any spending cap. At Anshin, we strategically guide real estate businesses through these legislative changes to help them develop a long-term investment strategy and boost cash flow. If you're a real estate professional looking to enhance profitability and minimize tax liabilities, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
In business, you've got to stand out to win. Sinorama West Palm Beach has been family owned and operated for over 32 years, helping local businesses make a lasting impression. Our team knows how to put your business in front of the right customers with signage that actually works. We can turn blank windows or plain vehicles into bold, attention-grabbing branding that drives results. Ready to step up your game? Call us at 561-687-7993 or visit SinoramawPB.com.
Near left, H2 chip, double drag, goes, halfback balloon, dummy spot call, hard 3.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
We're streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida, ESPN West Palm on Twitter and Facebook. Damian Perez, Colin Russo, Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. You got 4 games on the docket today, including Spain taking the field again. First time since we saw them draw, shockingly, against Cape Verde. Uruguay takes on the aforementioned Cape Verde. New Zealand, Egypt is the nightcap. And you also have Belgium and Iran at 3 o'clock. In England, most of these all over the world, all over the country, I should say. The last game in Vancouver. Hard Rock Stadium is hosting a game today down in Miami Gardens. That'll be Uruguay, Cape Verde. So the Uruguay lot is going to be heavy and full there. It should be a hot one there. That's a game where it needs the hydration break. Really quickly, Damian, the hydration breaks, is this still driving you crazy every time they happen?
They're growing on me. The one thing I still can't stand is the commercials. But I understand the hydration break. I mean, it's so hot out there. I mean, we live it here firsthand. When I played, I would have loved to have that hydration break. Right. It would have made a world of a difference. Still getting used to the commercial. It does it's almost like when you're watching the first half, you don't expect commercials. So when they go to commercials, it almost feels like the first half is over.
Right.
So that's something I've been getting used to it. But I've
There's your bathroom break. There's your bathroom break.
Right. I've come around on the whole idea of the hydration break. It makes complete sense, and it helps to see a better game after they do come back from that hydration break.
There's good strategy to it. There's good momentum shifts that are caused because of it. You do view the game, weirdly enough, in a quarterly format of win a quarter, win a quarter.
Almost like the intensity picks up after.
The intensity does. Yeah, the first couple minutes post-hydration break are always fascinating. It's a good way to put it. But yeah, that's sort of the nature of it. That's
and
why
a lot of coaches have expressed that. It's been different. You're kind of coaching almost like if you had 4 quarters instead of 2 halves. So that's also something that's new in this World Cup.
Let's blitz the book with Hard Rock Bet. Let's bounce around. All right, Damian, let's pull up our Hard Rock Bet app. Let's have some fun here because on Hard Rock Bet, you can download today and get involved on just about any of these games. There's a lot to follow. Let's get a golf one out of the way before we jump into the World Cup. U.S. Open winner, Wyndham Clark is minus 275.
Wow.
He is 7 under par.
So they're leaving the door open for a collapse.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of pressure going into this day. Are they really hoping that he's going to fall apart? Scotty Scheffler tees off at 230. Is 1 under. He is plus 550. And the guy after that is Xander Schauffele at even, and he's plus 2,500. So there's only one. I mean, in terms of a value pick,
it's almost Scheffler at that point.
Hey, hold on. Sahith Theegala is 1 under. He's plus 3,000. He's tied for second.
So is Tom Kim. 1 under, and they're both
That's your
3,000.
value pick. Is Wyndham going to win this? Most likely. But, like, if you want to throw a little sprinkler on something, maybe get a big comeback from one of it, here's your
Now,
option.
they would have to beat out Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, they would. And Scotty is the only one who doesn't crumble in these moments. People fall apart in the last day of majors. This guy's the only one who doesn't.
He's not known for that.
Yeah. So I should say Rory too, but yeah, Wyndham -7. I would not. I mean, listen, -275. I've seen better bets, but if you want to talk about who's actually going to win, it's most likely going to be Wyndham Clark. Is he going to fall apart by 6 strokes? We'll be talking about this, this collapse for years to come.
And when we mentioned pressure, he doesn't have the pressure of winning his first U.S. Open. He's coming off of winning a U.S. Open.
Yep.
So that also takes a little bit of the pressure off. It would take, I think at this point, it would take an unbelievable collapse for him to lose this.
Right. So Sahith Theegala, I would take as a flyer if you want one. But you can take Tom Kim, Scotty Scheffler, and really increase your odds quickly on the Hard Rock Bet app. All right, Damien, let's go through the games today. World Cup, a lot of action. Let's start with the Spain game that's going to open things up. Spain is -1100 to win. Yeah. I mean, geez. -2.5. Would you take him on the goal
Now,
line?
I think they were greater odds against Cape Verde. I think they were -3,000.
Would you take them in the goal line? -2.5.
It's almost like if you want to take Spain, that's really the only bet. -2.5. So, and I think they're in a position where not only do they need to win.
They're due for a beatdown.
They need to show up. They're due. So I can get behind the -2.5.
Belgium is only -260 to win against Iran. Seems light.
Yes, and Belgium is a team that you can never trust in these situations.
All right, so this is not something you'd like to bet.
I'd almost look at the over in this game.
2.5?
I think Iran showed us something that they can play an offensive game against Belgium. They don't have to sit back and kind of hold on for dear life. They can play a game where they're going at Belgium.
I could get behind this. Yeah, because you're not rooting for a winner. You're not rooting for Belgium to either squander an opportunity. You're just rooting for goals.
Right.
All right,
and
Belgium
we've had
Iran.
goals in this tournament.
Belgium Iran on the over. All right, sign me up for that. All right, Uruguay Cape Verde, -250 to win. You think that's a fair win line?
Honestly, this is generous. If Uruguay would have beat Saudi Arabia, they'd probably be more around like -300, -400. So I wouldn't mind taking that -250. I wouldn't touch the spread though. I will say that Uruguay is sometimes they're not a team that's gonna, smash.
You're gonna be biting your nails, huh?
Right? They're gonna win their games, but they're gonna make you suffer a bit. So if I were to touch Uruguay, it'd be the money line.
All right, so you like Uruguay -250 on the money line. The last thing here, New Zealand, Egypt. New Zealand is +550. Egypt is -185.
That's a tough one, man. I'm gonna go with Egypt though. I'm gonna go with Egypt.
+300 to tie.
Ooh, that's an interesting bet too.
We're not gonna have it. We've seen a lot of draws. Are we gonna have a draw today? And Egypt drew their first game.
Now, what I will say is both teams need a win, so there might be some desperation on both sides, leaving spaces open for counterattacks that could squander a tie. But looking at it on paper, I mean, a tie could very well happen. And +300 is
You would take
odds.
Egypt today?
If I were to bet a team to win, I would take Egypt, yes.
I remember the goal line is, it's one goal. Half a goal. -0.5.
So that's basically betting money line.
Betting money line. And the over-under is 2.5. Yeah, I would take Egypt to win the goal line.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, let's check other World Cup as well. Let's see. View more bets. Let's see the winners. World Cup winner. USA is +3,000. Same odds as Norway. Better odds than Colombia. France is +400. Spain's +550. England +600. Argentina +700. Portugal +900 still. Brazil +1,100. Germany's +1,100 too.
Honestly, USA +3,000. That's unbelievable value. I would have said more of close to +1,000 if I were to blindly give you a line, just based off how they've played and the path that they have moving forward. So I'm surprised they're at +3,000.
I mean, let's think about it. They got better odds than Morocco. They got better odds than Colombia. They got better odds than Norway.
Got to do with results, though. I think that's what that has to do. If Morocco would have beat Brazil, Morocco would have probably been somewhere around like +1,000.
Stroke. Let's do it. Let's do it. Should we root for a little momentum here? Piss off the rest of the world, United States.
I'm all for it. I from what I've seen from USA.
You've seen enough?
I've seen enough.
Really?
Not only have I seen enough, but
wow.
When you have players like Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, when they're talking about it, it's real. And
yeah,
they're not saying
Zlatan
that.
said, he goes, it's possible.
They're not just saying that because they're on Fox, because Zlatan,
they don't care.
He's
they don't
the
care.
most honest person, honest football player you'll probably ever meet. But if they're saying that, it's because they truly believe it.
USA plus 3,000. Uh-oh.
So is that being added to the lay?
You cannot add the
it makes
USA
it makes sense. I mean, imagine
you get plus 3,000 on your own, so you're good.
But adding a plus 3,000 to a parlay would just absolutely...
Our 5-bet parlay with Sahith Theegala is plus 21,000. If you want to get rid of Sahith Theegala, then you're looking at plus 588. And then plus 588 on Spain minus 2.5, over 2.5 goals in the Belgium-Iran game. Uruguay to get the result, minus 250. And then Egypt to win as well.
Not bad. Sign me up.
Not bad. Plus 588 in the Hard Rock Bet app. That is your parlay for the day. And then USA... plus 3,000.
And I believe you also have a no sweat bet if you bet only World Cup on the Hard Rock Bet. So that's
nice.
also
Take advantage. A plus. No sweat bet on the Hard Rock Bet app. You can do that today. And then they got so many. They got daily specials,
profit boost,
teams to score most goals today, teams to score the fastest goal from kickoff. You can have some fun with that. And Japan scored early yesterday, too. They were like a 5th-minute goal.
First 4 minutes.
Dutch didn't waste any time. They scored in like 2 minutes.
I only got through the first half of that game. I'm
all good. I'm all good. With all due respect. Tunisia, Japan, at 1:30. And the guys were, it's at the hay. All right?
I saw enough in the first 5 minutes. I saw enough.
Congrats, Japan. I'll see you in the morning. Big thanks to Damian Price keeping us up over the airwaves today. There's your Hard Rock Bet parlay. Go download that app today. Have some fun watching the U.S. Open. Hopefully you get some action with it. Hopefully Wyndham Clark collapses. That's what I'm rooting for. Unless you're a Wyndham Clark fan, then congratulations. A lot of pressure there. Enjoy the World Cup. We'll be back at it tomorrow with local programming. That's theoretically speaking 2 to 4, and then Russo and Rizzo 4 to 6. That's Damian Perez, Colin Russo. Appreciate everybody staying aboard with us on a Sunday morning here. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the first day of summer, technically. This has been Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet right here on ESPN 106.3.